Oh yeah. I suppose I need to open VTube Studio. Oh my god. Okay, everyone. So either there's something wrong with my hardware. Now, I did mention I did update my GPU driver earlier today, trying to specifically avoid issues with Wild Hearts because I know that there are issues with the game. It's entirely possible that the GPU driver might be fucked. It's entirely possible there could be a hardware issue with my PC. At no point have I decided to maybe take a picture or scan the QR code of the blue screen error message that I'm getting, which would have been the smart thing to do. I feel like now we are going to have to dedicate the rest of tonight's stream to troubleshoot, and by troubleshoot I mean we're going to play a different game and see if that happens. So we got everything open again. Because like my model was lagging, so it's entirely possible that maybe I'm just playing games that my PC is not good enough for, but I kind of find that unlikely.
Do you have any like hardware monitoring stuff that checks the temperature?
No.
I'd maybe get one of those. There's some free ones out there.
You do raise a good point, though. Just putting my hand over top of my PC fans. It's getting pretty hot in there. Very hot, in fact. Now, overheating would be causing the blue screens, but would not be causing other applications to crash. I believe that's a safe assessment, yes?
I don't know. It could be something with the CPU overheating. I don't know. I'm not familiar with your machine.
Just trying to think of what else I might want to do here. I'm kind of thinking either Elden Ring or Sea of Thieves. Because I have streamed Sea of Thieves before, however, it does occasionally cause like Discord to crash. Hello, Ice. Welcome back, man. We are continuing to have issues. I think we are going to go with Elden Ring. It's entirely possible we may have issues streaming that. I have played it on the machine and it's run fine. And I believe I did stress test it by running, by recording at the same time as running VTube Studio. Because I've heard that Elden Ring, at least when it first launched, had stuttering issues. I don't know if that's still the case. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to tentatively start our Elden Ring playthrough by retracing some steps here. And I had a specific goal in mind for what I wanted to do to start off the Elden Ring playthrough, which might be a little repetitive and a little tedious, but this is more of a point that I wanted to prove to myself and have it caught on stream as well. And that I basically want to beeline it to the Uchi, get just enough stats to use it, and beat the first Legacy Dungeon boss with just those stats, and my preferred class of choice, which I don't remember the name of, either the name of the boss or the class. Because I think you're pretty familiar with Elden Ring, at least.
I am not.
Oh, you're not? I assumed you would have either played it yourself or watched a playthrough.
No, I haven't touched it. I imagine PS4 might be okay from what I heard, but
Yeah, I played it on PS4.
So
well,
base PS4.
PS4 Pro, yeah. I always need to catch myself whenever I say that around you. Because you have mentioned that some games really struggle on that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Did I already configure the volume? Nope. And again, I believe I have Elden Ring on my hard disk, so it might take some time to load. Oh, that's not promising. Let's continue my existing save first, just to see what we're working with. If the game is an absolute mess immediately on getting in here, there's not much point in starting a playthrough now, is there? Oh no, everything's running smooth. It's also been a hot second since I played this, but just to show off where I was and what my stats were, there we go. I basically did something similar to what I just described earlier, but I think I over-leveled certain stats. Okay.
Do you already have the Uchi?
Yes, but we're gonna make a new file. Because I wanted the entire playthrough to get captured. Now that said, we are going to spend a bit of time trying to get the brass shield, if at all possible. I think it's highly worth the time investment. Can I delete files? Yes, I can. Okay, so I always pick warrior. Detailed appearance, load favorite. Yep. Let's just double check. Does it also load in the correct voice? No, it does not. Okay. I'm just gonna tweak a few random things to just see what it is actually changing to make sure. Okay, that loaded in. Okay, so the voice and age. Ugh. Yeah, we're sticking with the young. Uh,
Question for you:
Yep.
Who makes your video card aside from Big GeForce?
What do you mean?
Like, was it an NVIDIA straight up from the factory card, or was it made by MSI?
As far as I'm aware, it's Nvidia. Yeah.
Okay. Gonna send you a few apps for tracking your temperatures.
Okay. I don't like that one. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go with young voice. One. And then keepsake. I forget what I go with for this. I'm just gonna quickly consult. The Fanged Imp Ashes and Shiburi's Woe, I believe, can be acquired fairly easily. I think the Golden Seed. Let's see here. I think the Golden Seed or the Stone Sword Key are going to be the most useful things. I mean, we'll get plenty of Stone Sword Keys later. Golden Seeds are limited more by progression, I feel. I would rather get more drinks from my flask earlier on. And let me just see if I maybe made a note.
Warrior's outfit reminds me of the prince from the 2008, I think, Prince of Persia.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the year. Okay. Did I change the game? Yeah. Title. Everything looks to be okay. BTS React was not connected. Whoops. Everything else is running. Just gonna click on our DMs so that I don't think that there are other notifications. And here we go.
The fallen leaves tell a story.
And here, you know what? I'm feeling cocky.
The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now.
Thank you,
the
Kirsten.
tarnished,
Sorry, I don't want to
the
talk
dead
over the guy moaning.
who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask, Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing.
Here's the moment where I realized that I forgot to turn down the volume after I increased it to listen to the character creator voices, so I have now corrected that.
One other, whom grace would again bless.
Apologies if that was a bit
The
too booming.
tarnished of no renown.
Kirsten, I assume you're preoccupied right now?
Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring
Because I was tempted to ask if you wanted to play Sea of Thieves on stream earlier,
and become the Elden Lord.
but ended up going with this instead. We're just stress testing my PC at this point. Okay, well, I don't think I'll be streaming that long, knock on wood. Cthulhu, you may or may not have noticed I am screen sharing the game in Discord.
Oh, thank you.
Though the path be broken and uncertain, claim your place as Elden Lord. So we just got ourselves the wizened finger, which is used to write messages. And we start the game with a memory of grace, which you can use to respawn at the last bonfire, aka Site of Grace, at the cost of all your runes being dropped on the floor. So if you get stuck somewhere, basically. Now, the thing is, I actually kind of like how my character looks without the Hold on. So that's the look we're going to be rocking. And fighting with 2 swords is cool, but we are going to be using a shield for the most part. Good luck. Ooh, beef stew. Nice. So again, it's been a while since I played this. I did 100% the trophy list on PS4. So while I am fairly familiar with the game and I'll be beatlining it to certain things that I want if I remember or have looked up the locations of them, and like I said before, we are going to aim to get the minimum stats to use the Uchi. We're going to try to get our hands on a brass shield if the game is going to treat us well with the RNG. The door is blocked shut. And then we're going to try to fight the first boss, whose name I don't remember. Oops. That was almost ending in disaster.
Good thing you can jump now.
Yeah. Still have to use the claw if you want to sprint, though. And move the camera, specifically. There is no circumstance in which I'm going to be beating this guy. All right. Whoa! Well, that actually does a little bit of damage. Interesting. Oh! Oh! Oh, we're done. That's actually probably the best run I've ever had against that guy, honestly.
I don't imagine this game is limb cuts, does it?
Some enemies, maybe. It's been a while.
Because that particular boss, as well as I imagine some other ones, seem very prime for having limb cuts.
Yeah, I feel like any bosses that have that sort of mechanic allow you to target that limb separately. But again, I can't remember any specific examples. So I might literally be talking out of my ass. Like my PNG.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on his side. We
So,
found him here,
like,
after all.
this is what I'm talking about. I know this game is on PS4 as well, and the other games that we just played I don't think are on PS4, period. So clearly this is not as intensive a game.
One of his kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring,
That said, everything has been smooth as butter so far.
even if it does violate the Golden Order.
I feel like this is more of a statement, like, for how far FromSoft has come than anything else.
Imagine some companies just don't feel the need to optimize with how powerful things are getting.
Yeah. Or at the very least, they only care about optimizing for the consoles where the specs are fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we could blue screen later if it is an overheating issue. I'm not going to rule out that possibility for sure, but We got our juice. So instead of Estus, much like Dark Souls 3, we have a flask of Cerulean Tears, and I've already forgotten what the other one was called, but Crimson Tears. There we go. Cave of Knowledge. Jump down the hole ahead and you'll find the Cave of Knowledge. There, you can learn a bit more about the game controls and basic actions, as well as other tips that may be helpful during your adventures in the lands between. I think I may have impulsively skipped a tutorial earlier. Apologies if that was the case. That will probably happen a lot through this playthrough. But I also feel like Elden Ring is one of those games that's been played to death, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Brave Tarnished, take the plunge of learning and remembrance. Recall the arts of war and your warrior's blood. Does that have a parry? Yes, it does. And if I'm not mistaken, if we look at our settings... Yeah, it's at maximum. Sites of Grace. Resting at a Site of Grace will restore your HP, FP, and cleanse any status ailments. It will also refill your sacred flasks. However, most of the enemies you've defeated will be revived. You can find Sites of Grace by going anywhere where light converges. These explanations are acquired in the form of info items and can be accessed from the inventory at any time. If you haven't been outside for a while, remember to touch Grace. So we can immediately add a charge to our flask. By default, it'll give us an extra Crimson Flask, but you can allocate flasks between one or the other if you need to recharge your FP or HP more. FP is obviously favored more for people who use magic and arts of war. That require FP usage. But for the most part, we're going to be running with as much HP as we can, as much Kool-Aid as we can carry. Behold, Rump. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, man. Oh, no, he's... Yeah. Yeah, you walk away.
Rump.
Nope, let's not disparage. Hello, sir. Guarding. Use an armament in your left hand or both hands to guard against incoming attacks. Guarding is especially effective when done with a shield. Guarding consumes stamina. If your stamina runs out, your stance will be broken. Okay, good to know. I'll let you know if we decide to do that. Although if this continues to go well and I don't blue screen, I will probably finish stream with this, and then we will just do that after stream, if you don't mind. And of course, Cthulhu, if you'd like to join us, you're more than welcome to. Dodging. You can avoid enemy attacks with a dodge roll or backstep. Both of these actions consume stamina. Hello, Kirsten.
Hello. I'm here with Stu.
Hello.
The food, not the person. Not that there's a person named Stu in the server.
I do not know any Stews, personally. That's a lie, actually. But...
I know one Stu.
Materials. In every corner of the lands between, you will find fruits and flowers, mushrooms and butterflies, and various other useful materials. These materials can be used for item crafting. As Kirsten was talking on Slumbaby's server earlier, maybe I can throw some mushrooms inside my PC case and it will run Wild Hearts and Need for Speed Unbound better.
Mushrooms are helpful. And they're smart, apparently. They can play Synth Instrument. Can you play a Synth Instrument?
Your audio is kind of going distancy.
I can't really help that. I'll restart my computer, I guess.
Just thought I would let you know. I don't know if you're actually physically moving away, but you're gone, so I don't know who I'm speaking to at this point. Wielding armaments. Each hand can be equipped with up to 3 armaments, allowing you to toggle between them. Armaments can also be two-handed, making attacks more difficult to repel with shields and boosting effective strength by 50%. There's also something about, I think it halves the requirements to, at least strength requirements to wield a weapon if you two-handed. And more specifically, it is referring to, closer. More specifically, performing heavier attacks will do more stamina damage to shields, and two-handing weapons will also do that as well. Also, aerial attacks do that likewise. And completely depleting an enemy's stamina will basically poise break them, allowing you to perform a critical on them without you having to sneak up on them. Oh. Or backstab. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We shall
Can you
see.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, late on the draw for that one. I do like how the arrows stick out of you. Was that something that was always in Dark Souls? I forget.
I think it's in most games.
Skills. Armaments have special abilities called skills. Skills are highly varied and range from powerful attacks to temporary effects. Using skills consumes FP.
Art points.
And just as far as the attacks are concerned, so on R1 and R2, you have a light and a heavy attack. And if you are wielding 2 weapons, you can use L1 to attack with both weapons simultaneously. And if you have a shield out, then L1 is used to block instead. Crouching. Crouch to make it harder for enemies to discover you, especially effective in tall grass. Attacking an enemy that hasn't noticed you will cause more damage than usual. And I do appreciate that they actually call it a critical hit. Whoops. Hole. Stance breaking. Some attacks may break enemy's stance, giving you a chance to perform a critical hit. Charge attacks and jump attacks make it particularly easy to break an enemy's stance. To do a charge attack, you hold the heavy attack button, which is right trigger. I mean, that's all well and good, but for the most part, you are going to be locking onto an enemy, strafing around them, and like doing jump attacks, because that allows you to stay much more mobile. These are stakes of America. Upon dying, you'll be revived at the last site of grace that you visited. However, if there's a stake of Meridica nearby where you died, you can choose to be revived there instead. So these are basically temporary waypoints, which would have been real nice if Wild Hearts had any sort of mechanic like that. Oh no, it's a boss, the Soldier of Godric. Wait, how do I use items again?
Carefully. Carefully.
Sure. Guard counters. You can perform a counterattack immediately after blocking an enemy attack. Guard counters make it easy to break an enemy's stance. So this is specifically a new thing that they added where you block an attack, and for a certain number of frames after blocking, pressing the heavy attack button performs a unique action that, again, very similar to heavy attacks, charge attacks, jump attacks, two-handed attacks, does a lot of poise damage. Also, welcome on in, Pi. Let me just remind myself of how to...
Oh, Pi.
Uh,
You guys all left. It's not my fault.
like, actually, hold on. Is it square? I don't think I pressed square for anything. There we go. All right. Okay, that attack has a bit of a lag on it. Let's not die to this guy. Well, I should have actually shown off the guard counter, but there will be plenty of opportunities later.
Should have added more.
Pi's rabbit is very
horseradish.
cute. Can confirm. Well, if you are going to bed soon, I hope you sleep well. If you are just hanging out and cooling down, by all means, enjoy your time. We just got the strength gesture, so let's take a look at our current gestures here. We got a bow. Got a forward point. Thank you for the follow, Pi. Appreciate it. Coolest banana duck I know.
Not that I know many banana ducks, but Pi is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Maud.
Have a good night, Maud. Sleep well, dude.
Hey!
I think I might want to swap out Rallying Cry, potentially. Can I take a look at... Yeah, no. Not a big fan of that. That was a little dorky looking. Dejection is pretty nice. I think I might want to swap out Rallying Cry for Dejection. Yeah. Boom. Do we have any other important key items yet? Nah. And there is an item over yonder, but we have to work our way in through some fucking wild cliff cave network to get there.
Cliff Cave Network. Clave Network.
Sure. What does that mean, mod? Like, scratched the scratching post so much that, like, it started fraying?
Scratching posts get fucking shit all over by cats. You gotta fix
Yeah.
them. You gotta repair them constantly.
I'm aware of that. I didn't know Pi was a cat. Cooperative multiplayer. Use Tarnished Furl Finger to write a gold summon sign. Cooperative multiplayer will begin once you have been summoned by a player from another world. You will take the role of an ally, Furled Finger, and your objective is to defeat the area boss. The compass at the top of the screen indicates the direction of the summoner, the host of fingers. You also have a Finger Severer, which can be used to basically boot people out of your session if they're being shitheads. These little guys are...
Right off.
These little guys are hungry for swords. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any stone sword keys right now. So they will have to go hungry. And here we are, Limgrave. The map. Use your map to check your current position, as well as the terrain and surrounding structures. You can update your map with new information by finding map fragments at stells along the road. You can also use the map to freely place beacons of light to serve as landmarks as you explore. That thing about stells means like nothing to most players. I will show exactly what that is in just a moment. Because that's one of those things where, like, all the fucking Dark Souls content creators is like, bet you didn't know this about map pieces. Uh-oh. I'm just noticing that now that we've gotten to the open world, my stream be lagging. Is everything good on the stream?
It's a little laggy on your avatar.
Okay. Then let us attempt to troubleshoot that by ending the screen share. Apologies, YouTube, but
That's
I need to
fine,
know.
that's fine.
Guidance of Grace. Grace exists to guide the Tarnished and lead them along the proper path. Even now, some sites of Grace retain that power. Their golden rays will guide you along your way.
Still slightly scuffed.
Yeah.
Maybe better.
Marginally better.
Okay.
Maybe lower the game settings a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be the next thing that I try. Looks... It's very straightforward menu, I suppose.
You want a maximum or just kind of high? I like that it's straightforward.
My stream manager is still a little slow, but how does it actually appear on stream?
A little better.
A little smoother, but only by a little bit. Like, we're going a couple steps up. Like, it's significantly better than, like, before you stopped the stream.
Okay.
Yeah,
now,
you're seeming pretty smooth now.
yeah, that appears to have completely fixed it. That said,
I'll throw you some
oh
software
wait, it
later.
says
to, like,
it's
test
also
them on.
saying that some things have not been applied, and I need to return to the title menu. So let's go back to high. Let's return to the title menu, and then let's load back in, because it might not be able to adjust certain things in the open world. I am also running this game on my hard disk drive, so that could also be causing some additional.
It'll make the load time stronger, but I don't think it would cause the problems we are presently experiencing.
Okay.
Coconut water tastes kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a nice coconutty beverage.
No, coconut water does not taste like coconut.
I mean, it's pressed coconut water, so it does have a coconut taste, but
Here, let me sway side to side while rotating the camera. How are we doing?
pretty
A
crisp.
little jank, but works okay. Slightly jank, but not as bad as it was before.
Yeah, no, it's functional.
Okay. So I think we're good with the high settings. Like this still looks good. Medium did not.
Medium looked mid.
Oh, yes.
Kind of does what it says on the box.
Shall we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring.
Game security violation detected. Easy anti-cheat.
Uh-oh.
You have one
Love
new item
that.
in your Steam inventory.
Is it a broken heart?
Oh, let's find out. Oh no, it's worse than that, Kirsten. It's a wild heart.
Ew.
I got the trading card for Sight of Lost Grace. Okay. So I don't know how to fix Elden Ring thinking that I'm cheating.
You know, it's probably one of the random softwares that are running.
I mean, it could very well be VTube Studio. If it like, however, it might hook into the game to detect like the color, for like
That's
screen
entirely
overlay.
possible.
But I'm not using that. That's the thing. So
No, but there's still coding in the software that does that.
yeah.
Probably still active, even if you're not using it.
Because yeah, I can't think of anything else that would be causing that. I mean, there's not much to do, but continue to proceed and potentially troubleshoot after stream.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Hmm? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
I heard
Without
that you're a
guidance,
maidenless
without the
cheater.
strength
Are you a
of
little
rules,
cheater
and
boy?
without an invitation
So
the
maidenless.
table hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity.
I'll be right back.
Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless.
That shining ray of hope is femboys.
Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light that gives life to you tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that a tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave. Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly, to Castle Stormvale, over on the cliff, the home of the decrepit demigod, Godric the Grafted. It's time you set off, I should think.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where Grace would guide you, if you seek the Elden Ring, maidenless as you are.
Why you gotta keep bringing that up, man? Damn. I don't see your maidens. Fucking maidenless poser trying to tell me I'm maidenless. He's jealous. He's projecting. Hello, Cutlet. That is not Patches. That is Vare. Summoning pools. In each area, you may find effigies of martyrs. These effigies are summoning pools. You'll find it easy to summon other players at these locations, as co-op and hostile summoning suns created with small effigies gather at summoning pools. That is a valid answer, yes. You do have to activate summoning pools. Map menu. With the map menu, you can check your current position and terrain and buildings in the surrounding area. You can also freely place beacons of light to serve as landmarks as you explore. Lastly, through your map, you can select any site of grace that you've discovered and travel there instantaneously. However, there are some dungeons and other areas where this cannot be done. You can also see Vare. These person icons did not used to exist in the game. Okay, we can't see it just yet. But at the crossroads there will be one of those stells that the tutorial talked about, and it does show up on the map when you've unfogged it. But you can only do so by approaching it, being in the zone. Yeah, there's a lot of people in these games, and they move around, so it's very useful to figure out, like, oh, hey, this person's gone from this place. I should maybe look for them somewhere. I just had a thought to check something. Okay, no, we're good. I have half a mind. Also, there's just like a wandering boss just chilling there. We are not going to engage them. You can cheese them, but I don't recommend it. Not this early. So I'm just trying to remember. Where the entrance to that cave was. I don't think it's down there, but there is something there. I feel like that fall will kill us, though. Maybe not.
Do it, coward, jump. You won't.
Almost landed there. Very reminiscent of trying to reach some of those fucking skeleton thrones in Sea of Thieves. Death. Upon dying, you'll be revived at the last site of grace that you visited. You'll drop any runes in your possession at the site of your death. If you die again before reclaiming those runes, they will be lost forever. The compass at the top of the screen indicates the direction of the lost runes. Time for jumping. Yeah, you can take no fall damage for a pretty long height, and then just like very suddenly, it's like, oh, you're absolutely dead. Praise the jumping. This. I don't think I'm supposed to go in there. I think that's just water coming straight out of a sheer rock wall.
That's how that works. Didn't you know?
We can't get down there until a little bit later. So we're gonna place a little beacon there. Oh, well, that was a nice loading tip. That was very relevant to what we were just talking about. Unfortunately, in addition to being maidenless, we are also horseless. So, we cannot
Damn, so
make...
you can't even be a brony.
Well, I don't think that's... I don't think we're missing out on anything there. But more
Why not
importantly,
combine being both maidenless and horseless together?
we are not able to make use of those spirit spring placements there, which would normally allow us to descend from great height and also ascend to great heights. Fast travel to sites of grace. Through your map, you can instantly travel to any sites of grace that you've discovered. However, there are some dungeons and other areas where this cannot be done. Basically, if you're underground in a dungeon, you are stuck for a bit. Strengthening armaments. At the smithing table, you can spend runes and smithing stones to strengthen your armaments. Somewhere in the lands between, you may meet a blacksmith who can make your armaments even stronger.
You're tarnished. I can see it.
Hey, Santa.
And I can also see that you're not after my throat.
I've been a good boy this year.
Why not purchase a little something? I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods.
Have you?
I think more often than not, yeah.
I am of a nomadic
Fair enough.
selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer. You know, if you can spare the runes, you should buy yourself a crafting kit. A crafting kit allows you to make basic items on your own. Essential, really, if you intend to survive out here for any duration. The kit costs a bundle, and I admit I do take my cut. But the important thing is that you survive. Every customer counts, after all. You know, if you should buy a crafting kit...
Yeah, so the crafting kit is useful to an extent, but honestly, I don't craft a lot of things except for the occasional arrow. Shop menu. With a shop menu, you can spend runes to purchase various items. You can also sell items for runes. Each merchant stocks a different variety of items for purchase. I don't recall if there's anything... particular that I want here. Ah, the torch is actually really good. You know what? We'll purchase the crafting kit just to have it. We'll probably come back for the telescope.
I'm glad you took my warning to heart. You've made an excellent choice.
Item crafting. If you have a crafting kit, you can make various items from materials that you find. Select item crafting from the main menu and to make items. You can learn to craft more items by finding cookbooks. Containers. You'll need cracked pots or other containers to craft certain items. You will not be able to make more of these items than you have containers. Container items will run out with use, but the containers themselves will remain. It's very much like empty bottles in Zelda games. And as I said, we're not really going to focus on dual wielding quite so much. But having a torch in the offhand is very nice. Uh-oh.
Game crash.
The application is suspended, apparently.
I'm still muted because I'm like having hiccup fits, but that sucked.
And then it died. So we'll probably have to lower the settings some more. But at least it isn't causing anything else to crash. Now, the medium settings looked really awful, so what we're going to do is we're going to tweak some individual stuff. Or more specifically, we'll bump it down to medium and then like bump up a few things, like maybe textures to high, to see if that makes things look less rough around the edges. Thankfully, this game is like almost constantly recording your progress, so you never really lose much. Unlike Wild Hearts.
Don't know how games function like that anymore in this day and age.
Yeah, honestly. I was shocked. Okay. So bump that down. To medium. Okay. What things can we bump up to make this look a little better? Texture quality I'd like to bump up. It's still looking blurry as shit, like particularly on the character model and the environment. That's something I'd like to fix.
Probably wants you to restart.
So grass quality. Let's turn off motion blur. Okay, so everything defaults to high. Okay, so if we go to medium and then bump up textures to high. I'm gonna do this. Because there are definitely some things that were looking super rough, like the grass. You know, all things considered, like running off of a hard disk drive loads very quickly. Oh yeah. That looks a lot better. Kind of want to improve the grass quality. God damn it. And I think I'll bump up the anti-aliasing. There's nothing between low and high. I see. And I'm just trying to get the character model to not look quite so blurry. Like there's a lot of trudging through the wilderness, so getting the grass to look a little bit better will be nice, I think. Yeah, I think I can probably live like this. Is there anything that specifically pertains to character model rendering? What does SSAO refer to again?
Screen space ambient occlusion. For efficiently approximating the ambient occlusion effect in real time, that's not useful.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm also noticing that my model's slowing down.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, the texture quality isn't actually needing a restart. It could very well just be the grass. Because there's a lot of fucking grass. It's either that or the anti-aliasing. I think we're probably good if we lower one of them. I think I'd probably prefer lower quality grass than lower quality anti-aliasing, but we'll see.
But if you can't see the grass as well, how well can you touch it?
Okay, I think model's running fine. Spin the camera, sway side to side. It looks smooth to me.
I'd say it's fine.
Yeah, it was the anti-aliasing that was the issue. So I think what we'll do is we'll keep everything... Why is this low and high? Hold on. Let's do medium everything. Anti-aliasing high. I think those are the settings we'll stick with. Alright. Back to the game. So now is the point where we're going to start making a beeline to various things. Hello, sir. Oh, was that a... Teardrop Scarabs. There are both Crimson and Cerulean Teardrop Scarabs. Defeat them to replenish the flasks that match their type. However, you cannot replenish more flasks than your maximum amount allows. There are also like silver ones that can provide you with Ashes of War that allow you to learn different skills. You can also kill groups of enemies to replenish your flasks.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Honestly, this
I offer you an accord.
looks totally fine on medium settings. It's just the anti-aliasing looks awful when it's
Have
on
you
low.
heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless.
God damn it!
I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree.
Alright, fine.
Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring.
Oh, things are moving a little fast here. Oh. Oh. It's not a ring, that's a whistle.
Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Damn, what a big day. We've immediately become both no longer maidenless and no longer horseless.
Shall
Moving
I
on
turn
up.
your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment. Share
So
them
you get an accord called Torrent.
your thoughts, your ambitions, the principles you would follow.
This is not a Chevy Torrent.
Level up menu. With the level up menu, you can spend runes to increase your attributes. With each attribute increase, your level rises by 1. As your level rises, so does the amount of runes required for your next attribute increase. So we actually only need 1 level up. We just need 1 point of strength in order to wield the Uchi. Horseback riding. Use the spectral steed whistle to summon and ride your spectral steed. If your spectral steed dies, you can summon it again, but it will cost 1 flask of crimson tears to do so. You can dismount by using the whistle again or by pressing left stick. And sure enough, it teaches how to use the pouch. From pouch in the main menu, you can equip 6 items to your pouches. 4 of those can be used without opening the main menu using Y and the D-pad. And so what we're going to do, we're going to remove the memory of grace. I will do that. I need to refill my drink, so I will be right back. Thank you again for the hydrate redeem, Ryu. Appreciate you, dude. All right, and I believe I might have to check my PS4 save for the sake of muscle memory, but I believe I usually put the whistle left on the D-pad. So we're gonna grab a couple things here. These big carriages have some chests on them. Ow. Ow. These little things, when people didn't know how to open them up correctly, annoyed a lot of players, because trying to attack them, you'll typically push them with your body and they'll roll around on the ground. But if you just roll into them... Ow. you will break them without too much difficulty. We're going to come back and deal with these guys momentarily, but for now, we're going to go down here. We're going to take their loot. Adding skills. With a whetstone knife, you can use Ashes of War to grant your armaments new skills at Sites of Grace. An armament can only have one skill. Any skill it previously had will be removed. An armament's type determines what skills it can have. Some special armaments have unique skills and cannot be granted new ones. Adding affinities. With a whetstone knife, you can use Ashes of War to grant affinities to your armaments at Sites of Grace. This way, you can alter an armament's attack affinity, boost attribute scaling, and more. An armament's type determines what affinities it can have. Some special armaments, like those with unique skills, cannot be granted new affinities. We have gotten Storm Stomp and a whetstone knife. Just to quickly explain what all that jargon means, because that probably means nothing to anyone who doesn't play Souls games. If you take a look at the attack power section in the middle of the screen, you'll see that our curved sword does 106 physical damage plus 16. That plus number is scaling. Down below where it says attribute scaling, that number will get larger based on certain attributes. In this case, it scales with strength and dexterity. This is typically called a quality weapon. The only reason it's called that is because in Demon Souls, there were strength weapons, there were dex weapons, and then they described weapons that scaled with both as being a quote-unquote quality weapon, and that's just what they're called now. The character just meant that it was a well-made sword, but now they're called quality weapons, or if you build your character equally across strength and dex, that is called a quality build. It's silly, but that's how it works. So if you boost either your strength or your dexterity, you'll get a boost to your damage based on that stat specifically. If you boost, in this case, int, faith, or arcane, int being intelligence, it's not going to do anything for your damage with this weapon. And you will get weapons with different attributes. So a weapon that scales like A with dex, D with strength will get more of a damage boost out of a higher dexterity stat than it will out of a higher strength stat. So that's what the letters mean there. And with the whetstone knife and the affinity stuff that I was talking about, you can basically apply attributes to your various weapons. So you can have a weapon that normally scales with certain things, and you can apply like a dexterity affinity to it to basically say, I would rather have this weapon do more damage based on my dexterity stat. Later on, you can get other whetstone knives that will allow you to apply like ailment-inducing statuses, so you can make a weapon that doesn't inflict bleeding. You can give it the capability to inflict bleeding or poison or frost damage, etc., etc. So that becomes very powerful later on. Ashes of War menu. With this menu, you can use Ashes of War to grant skills and affinities to your armaments at Sites of Grace. An armament can only have one skill. Any skill it previously had will be lost. By adding an affinity, you can alter its attack affinity, boost attribute scaling, and more. Okay, this is the same text as previous. So, for example, we could replace the spinning slash move that our scimitar currently has with Storm Stomp instead. We currently don't have any abilities for shields. If we do that, we can make it. Hey, look. Actually, they did call it quality in terms of the affinity. So never mind me for fucking trashing on that community selected term earlier. Egg on my face. Oh well. So what's a little silly here is you can see that the dex scaling is somehow going down apparently, and the strength scaling is somehow going up. This is because each letter is actually a reference to a range of numbers behind the scenes, and technically this is making the strength and dexterity more even between the two, but the actual behind the scenes numbers for this weapon, normally the strength is actually a lower number than the dexterity is, so this quality affinity is lowering the dexterity and increasing the strength so that they are more in balance. The problem is applying this affinity also lowers the base damage of this weapon, and considering where my stats are right now, it's going to lower the base damage 16 points just to increase my scaling by damage by 3. So it's not worth it. We're going to be losing 13 points of damage with that. So we're not going to do that. But later on, that becomes a very powerful tool to use. If we check the map now, we can also see at the gatefront ruins there is a stele. Can I? No. So it's right in the middle of the ruins. Ow. Where is it? There it is. This structure right here. Map. Limgrave West. And some enemies have the capability of alerting other ones. And then they'll all start to attack you, even if you were sneaking around and only pulling one at a time. So now we get to see the topography of the region. I believe we want to go somewhere over here. And we can summon Torrent now. Oops, button. Wait. When did that happen?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Like, I was waiting for you to, for a little in your monologue.
So a fun detail about this, it probably happened due to the crash. I forget when we changed that. So for whatever reason, lightning strikes there. I think it might just be attracted to the fulgur blooms. We could read the lore. I don't feel like it. There's a lot. Now that we have Torrent, we can make use of Spirit Springs. Jump while on horseback near a Spirit Spring to ride its current into the air. You won't take damage from jumping into a Spirit Spring while on horseback, even from a great height. Woo! And the horse has a double jump. How about that? Yeah, there be giants. I believe these guys are trolls. I forget what they're actually called in terms of lore.
And even if you have a double jump, do not try to use it to stop your momentum in big jumps.
That is correct. The total fall distance will always matter. You can, unlike some games where you can like attack in the air to stall, or double jump to cancel fall damage. That does not work. Guide and Gatekeeper for those returning to the roots. So you'll occasionally find these statues in the wilderness, and they will mark a direction on the map that will guide you toward a tomb. I don't know. I think we can just get up there from here. But I think if we go. Howdy.
Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. I am Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this?
Let's help him out.
1,000 thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big. And I'll pop clean out, I'm sure. Don't
Why?
tally. There's no need to fret. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say.
Why you gotta be so suggestive with that phrasing? Yay!
Well played, good son. Well played. Though that mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of me. Ah. Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like you to have this.
That was kind of funny. As a token of my appreciation, an error occurred, which has caused Streamlabs desktop to close. Oh, I cannot win.
Once again, pleasure is mine. I am the warrior Jar known as Alexander. Iron Fist Alexander, in fact. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of war. And beyond these lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid wilds. And upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held. I'd heard whispers of such festivities before. Doesn't the notion set your breast aflutter? I'm heading eastward to Redmane Castle, on the southern edge of the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid wilds. I've heard there's to be a festival held there.
All right. So, I mean, when Streamlabs crashes, I don't have to restart it right away. Wait, what? I thought there was a, okay, it's over here. But I'm not able to transition to any other scenes, which shouldn't be a problem. Because I mean, stuff has crashed so much tonight that there are no credits to roll anyway. That said, I would like to try and finish the game plan with this stream, and that'll be the end of things for tonight, I think. Unthinkable, our hallowed resting place is violated. To refuse the Erdtree's call to return, to live within death. Sickening. I believe, as far as the lore is concerned, I've never really gotten too much into it. The concept of living within death is to basically be undead. Also, just checking that you guys are intentionally muted.
I'm not talking.
Okay.
I am intentionally muted.
Just making sure.
Like hiccups and shit.
I'm just checking the location of something. I'm going to make a mark on my map that we are not going to address right away. Okay, so yeah, we're going to come back here later. And here. Perfect. Okay. Oops. I forget if we actually sat. So I believe this is the dungeon that has the Uji in it. I don't think we have to beat this, but we have to get pretty much most of the way through it. One thing that's really nice about Elden Ring compared to the previous Souls games, you used to have to use blunt weapons to prevent no, it was holy weapons, right? To prevent skeletons from respawning. Blunt weapons would do additional damage against them. But now, when you defeat a skeleton, they will have like a soul that you can attack, and that will prevent them from reviving.
That's nice.
I'm just dual wielding to get a little bit of damage because I don't have a blunt weapon right now, and these guys can tank a decent amount, and there's a lot of them in here.
Thought you got a flail from one of those chests.
That is correct. You could try using that, certainly.
What's it gonna hurt? Other than the enemies, I mean.
Personally, no, I don't have the stats for it, that's why. It requires more dexterity. Because it's
Time to
not,
get good.
it's not a mace, it's a flail. So because they added a little swingy bit, it now requires
To be
a lot
fair,
more skill.
it does require a lot more skill to use a flail over a mace.
This is what the game was talking about before as far as defending is concerned. If you're two-handing, generally when you're one-handing weapons, you won't be able to defend with anything in your offhand unless it's a shield. But when you're two-handing, you can guard with your weapon. And a lot of the materials that we're picking up here are used to upgrade summons later. Uchi! Ah, oh dear. So, I think we needed like 700 to equip the, or to purchase a level and equip our Uchi. We might actually require more strength, now that I think about it, to wield the brass shield. And the important thing about the brass shield is that it is the first weapon that provides 100% damage reduction. Because defense in on shields as well as weapons in Souls games is percentage based. So if you defend against an attack, but your shield does not provide if your shield does not provide 100% damage reduction against the type of damage that you are absorbing with it, you will still take chip damage, much like in a fighting game. Yeah, so with the amount of times that Streamlabs has crashed, I think for next weekend, I'm going to try porting over my overlay to OBS and run that instead.
It's lighter weight overall, I think.
Yeah. And OBS does have just as much a likelihood of crashing, if we're being completely honest. Streamers complain about their software doing weird shit all the time. It's just part of the biz, but like today has been particularly
bad.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to fix our issues with these EA games, but as long as it can fix problems with Sea of Thieves and Elden Ring, I think that is a worthwhile upgrade at this point. It has finally come to pass. That said, tomorrow I think we're going to do Legend of Dragoon and Wild Arms 3, and since we're not going to be running any PC games, just capturing from a capture card, I don't think I need to worry about Streamlabs crashing, so that's why I'm going to take the week to do that homework. So in tombs, you have to look for one of these skeleton statues with a lever, and that will open a door right back at the very beginning, which will allow us to fight the boss of the tomb. As far as these guys are concerned, we can ignore them. I would rather not have more souls that I could potentially lose against the boss, especially when we have enough for a level to wield our Uchi. And in case I didn't say it out loud, the reason why I like the Uchi so much is just because I like the skill that it has. Pull up. We need 1 strength, right? Yeah. Let me just check one thing real quick. Brass shield. Requires 16 strength. So yeah. The Uchi is also going to be a more powerful weapon for us in general. You can also see that our damage negation will increase if we decide to block with the Uchi, from 40 to 45. But a shield like this will block 74 physical damage. And then there are also different stats for different elements. And then guard boost, I believe, refers to how much stamina you lose upon getting hit. So the main reason I like the Uchi is because of its skill, which we are only going to be able to use while two-handing it or wielding nothing in the offhand, because if we attempt to use the skill, we're just going to stab with that or parry. You would have to have actually nothing in your offhand. I'd have to unequip everything from my left hand in order to use the skill for the Uchi one-handed. But if I dual wield, we have an EI stance. That was the wrong button. And it allows you to do a lunging slash and an overhead lunge like that. And those are both very powerful in terms of positioning, strength, and the overhead one is really nice for causing stamina damage as well to crumple bosses and whatnot. So it can be very clutch if you are fighting like a mid-range battle against an enemy. Nia, welcome on in. Good to see you. Not sure I would call it morning, but I suppose it is 1 a.m., so sure. So the Assassin's Crimson Dagger, I believe, is our first talisman. Oh, I forgot. This is also really nice. So equipping this will, when we get critical hits, will actually restore some of our HP. And that's also nice for optimizing your life in a boss fight. Yeah, I believe your time zone isn't too different from mine. In fact, I think it might even be the same. You're in Eastern, aren't you? again, no obligation to disclose. It's up to you. Oh, you're in Pacific. Right. Okay.
That's even worse. It's good morning at 10 p.m.
Now, are you saying good morning because you just woke up? Or because it's 1 a.m. here? And you clearly have a better memory than I do about time zones. Oh boy. All right. I know that vibe.
I try to avoid that vibe.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot there was a guy up there and he jumped down. I kind of forgot about that completely. I just want the item, man. I just want... Yeah. I'm thinking Arby's. I've got the meats. The lump of meats. Hello, sir. Bye. Dude, your horn. Sure, I'm not... What are you hoping to achieve there? Oops. Forgetting my buttons. Oh yeah, I've definitely had some weekends like that. So I'm hardly one to judge. Ow, that wolf is pesky. There we go, vanquishing enemy groups. You can replenish your flasks. The number and type of flask to be replenished varies depending on the enemy group. You cannot replenish more flasks than your maximum amount allows. I also feel I should ask Nia. I keep seeing you redeem even Stevens. Are you aiming for a specific number, or did you claim that once and are just trying to even out your numbers ever since? Again, not judging. I'm just curious.
Full judgment here.
Nice.
Everyone's...
But that's the best SCP.
Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me.
Is that actually a specific SCP number?
For me.
Yeah, it's the evil regenerating lizard that can't be killed.
Their legs taken, even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to
Oh, sick. The Dune spider guy is in here?
If you're grafted by the spider, you become a chrysalid.
I know how much you love that pet.
When you think about it.
I liked it until I saw the concept art of what the face looked like.
You're all on your own, are you? And heading to Stormvale Castle? Enticed by the one in the white mask, I suppose. Oh, you've come to be one with the spider?
No, I'm not one of those Twitter
Lots of
weirdos.
two peas in a pod. But I don't have your courage. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off. Or legs.
I mean,
or your
yeah,
head.
you don't need to tell me
I
that.
want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven.
Like this notion of like there being peer pressure to become an amputee. Everybody else is getting their limbs chopped off and stuck to the spider. I want to join them.
Oh, I know. Can you take this little one along?
Don't you want to be part of the spider?
Can I offer you a jellyfish in these trying times?
The poor thing deserves someone braver than myself. And the spirits look rather fondly upon you. It'll be glad of your company, I think, the little one.
Summoning spirits. With a spirit calling bell, you can use ashes to summon various spirits. Summoning typically consumes FP. You can only summon one type of spirit at a time. You cannot summon spirits during multiplayer.
It was a pleasure to see you. Oh, can you pass on a message for me? If you see the little chrysalids in Stormvale Castle, tell them I love them. And that, despite my craven heart, I'm sure I'll be joining their club soon enough. I'm finally getting the hang of this whole pain thing, you know. It was a pleasure to see you.
So we now have an extra flask. You can talk to Melina.
This tiny
Little
golden
Melona
orb is
ice
the voice
waffles.
of the Earth Tree. This light once shone in the eyes of your tarnished brethren, but now it is all that guides you. Also, I hear you can see them, can't you? The rays of grace that guide you through your burden. Upon the cliff in Castle Stormvale is a
So one of the
shadow
local
bearer, a
stores in
demigod
town
who
started
knew
importing
the
those again.
fragment
There's
of the
dialogue.
shattered Elden Ring. If the rays of grace signal the castle, then the Elden Ring beckons you. As an ally by pact, I pray that you are fit to face the challenge presented by the ring.
Sorry about that. Melona bars?
Yeah.
Local source
No,
employee?
no, ice waffles.
What are ice waffles?
They're shaped like a carp. And they are a waffle of sorts, and they are filled with, it's not ice cream, but it's kind of like ice cream, I guess, in terms of like its overall texture. It's a little more watery of consistency. It's got like a vanilla flavor, and then they put red bean paste in it, and they're really fucking good.
Oh, taiyaki.
Mm-hmm.
And they're called ice waffles domestically.
No, Melona ice waffle is a very specific thing.
Huh. Hold on, I kind of want to see. So this is Melona brand.
Yeah, you can buy them in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to find someplace that's going to import them.
I see what it is. It's an ice cream taiyaki.
Ice cream sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's really... I bought, there was one store that was like, yeah, we just bought these. And we bought too many, and we're going to put them on sale. It was the first and only time I've ever seen them for sale in town, and I must have bought their entire stock. I was literally renting fridge space out of people's houses.
I'll take your entire stock.
Oh, that is exactly... I tried the chocolate one. I was like, it's not bad. I tried the red bean one, and I was like, this is so good.
What is that meme from again? I'll take your entire stock? I forget.
Futurama, I think.
Is that the one with the still frame of Fry with just holding out a bunch of money?
I think that one specifically is shut up and take my money.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Same energy though, honestly.
It's from JonTron, and he's got a real fucked up face in it.
I might actually be thinking of the of El Shaddai, some of the El Shaddai memes. Like that might be like a different thing. Like the phrase is probably a JonTron thing, but in my head, the image I'm picturing is the scene from El Shaddai where Enoch goes, "I'll take the best you have."
Not seen you before. Name's Bernard. Tarnished, just like you. Let me ask you something. Are you here in the lands between to take up the fight? Does your faith in the guidance of grace hold firm, despite the collapse of the Golden Order?
I forget what my faith was supposed to... I'm not sure.
To a fault, I see. Such thoughts won't behoove you as a tarnished.
Go hoove yourself.
There's nothing wrong with that. Any interest in bearing the torch of my battle arts? All I know is the sword. Picked up a fair few tricks in my time, too. Now's the time to pass them on. To a good tarnished like you.
I like how everyone is either depressed or extremely judgmental.
It's real life.
So this might seem rather silly, but no skill is actually one of the best skills in the game. Oh. Quick step is also really nice, but I'm not going to grab it just yet because I need to get more strength. Ooh, hold on. Just double check in. Does the breast shield have a skill? Nope, it does not. So Harry might be good to grab. I'm not gonna grab it now though.
There's a myriad of battle arts in these lands that I've yet to discover. Mementos of all the warriors who raised their arms in battle, lost and died. A fine tale, all told of true chivalric romance. That's how I fell in love with the sword and the arts of combat. It grants meaning even to falling in battle, to death itself. Well, until we meet again.
It's nice that FromSoft put the money in to give these guys lip flops.
Yeah. You'll talk to Melon in a second. Actually, we should probably do that now.
Me? I'm searching for my purpose, given to me by my mother inside the Earth Tree, long ago, for the reason that I yet live, burned and bodiless.
Oh, that line means something very different upon a replay.
I've acted the Finger Maiden, yet can offer no guidance. I am no maiden. My purpose.
Fuck! I'm still maidenless then. God damn it!
Was long ago lost.
Should've known. Okay, so we have put no skill on our shield, so now our shield is no longer capable of parrying. So what that means, basically, is that we can use our EI stance despite having the shield. Because now there's no longer a parry skill to override. Now, one thing that's a little frustrating is you can only apply that to one thing at a time. So if we wanted to put no skill on the torch as well, we cannot do that. So what technically might be the smarter move would be to just switch to the torch and put no skill on the torch so you can still parry with the shield, but I don't do that personally. Okay, so we got our 2 waypoints there. I believe we can go back to the church now.
This way, Tarnished.
And we can see Best Girl.
A word. A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk I surmise is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent.
I can call the spectral steed.
As I had hoped, I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
The spirit calling bell. And the lone wolf ashes.
'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. From ash and return to the Erdtree, the spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past. Now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest.
So there are a few things early on that are tied to just arbitrary checkpoints or reaching a certain number of sites of grace. Meeting this character is one of them.
Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
Her design is really, really cool. And what's interesting is that she has a second, like, spectral face to the left of her face, and that was the face that was actually talking. Okay, we bought the skill that we needed, so now we can level up. Strength. Okay. And there's one more sequence we're hoping to activate here, but I think we probably need to hit another site of grace first before it happens. And that Melina will allow us to go to the round table hold. And then we can go back to the Heartbroken Maiden over here, and she'll introduce herself to us and go to the round table hold instead of moping around there. But for now, we gotta do some work. Also, I want to check something real quick. Like I said, that character I met is my personal favorite character in the game. Well, one of two, actually. There's another character that I think is really interesting. There's room for 2 best girls.
Take offense to that.
Okay, then 3.
This game seems to have a lot of good girls.
Yeah, there are a lot of, like, phenomenal characters in this game. Oh, but the page is not loading. What is this? Okay. Yeah, I was just looking up to see if there was a Nendoroid of that character in production, because I feel like there should have been. And there is, but it still looks like it's very early in production.
Eventually.
So, the game plan for now is
wait for the Nendoroid. Gotcha.
Well, no. the plan for now is podcast hours. Part of me is thinking I might want to do this off stream, because it can take a while. We are trying to get a brass shield from one of these guys, because like I said earlier, provides 100% defense reduction. We'll also get a lot of runes in the process. Oh my god, why are these guys chilling here?
Because I want to.
Mind your business, man. I'm fighting giant bats. Serves you right. And that red flow that went into us is us regaining our HP. Because that talisman that we got allows us to regen HP when we do any crit hits. And I think that's a cool ability. I've mentioned this several times before on and off stream. I love lifesteal abilities in games. It's just a very cool concept. I wouldn't say I have a thing for them like many people do, but I think that vampires are cool in the perspective of like a class in games, being able to like drink blood to replenish health and whatnot, and similar abilities. Not quite so much into the aspect of vampires being like pretty and or horny. As the VTuber community is wont to do. need to be careful because I think that guy has a horn he can doot.
Speaking of horny.
Yeah.
Now, Cthulhu, I want to send you something.
Yikes.
What's that?
It's this.
Oh, is that thing you were working on?
Yes. I'll send it to you too.
Sure.
Neat.
Just editing shit.
I did see you messaging me the goods earlier,
The goods.
but I was
Better
dealing.
goods.
I was dealing.
Cleaner
with,
goods.
I was dealing with the crashes, the hard times, the struggles. So I did not take the time to take a look at it. Apologies for being vague,
okay.
everyone. Stay tuned. Next Saturday, you'll get to see what we're talking about.
Now I'm gonna like crop Cthulhu's thing down into like a little rectangle, like across the face, like the character select screens and shit. But yeah.
So is it finished?
Yeah, more or less. It's just gonna be cropped.
It's wonderful.
Unless you want something changed.
Ooh.
What?
I just one-shot that guy.
Nice.
Okay, I think I successfully defeated everyone in the camp except for Horn Guy and the boss.
Poor horn guy. He's just doing what he can, doing his best job.
Go to horny jail. Ow. No, sir, he dropped an item. I need to check his pockets first before you kill me. Just give me a sec. Wasn't worth it. Oh no. Woo.
Cthulhu, what's your favorite color?
Whoa, okay.
They're blue or orange, and together they work really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Nope. Nope. There we go. Those guys are actually pretty tough early on, so I'm actually quite proud of myself for wiping out the entire camp. At least I think I did. We'll do a quick circumference check here. Oh, and if for some reason anyone watching has not seen footage of Souls games before, the ghostly apparitions that appear every once in a while are basically ghost data of other players just playing their game, doing their thing. I think it's a nifty system. It gives the world a feeling of being lived in without it actually being like an open world MMO kind of vibe. I have a feeling someday we might get a situation where Elden Ring actually becomes kind of a, like, passively online game, kind of like Destiny. where as you transition into various areas, other people can like phase into your current instance. And like they'll be actual players and not just apparitions. Okay. I think we've cleared out everything here. So I'm just trying to think, because we need to get to 16 strength. That'll happen after defeating enough of these guys. The important thing is that we get the brass shield. I should level up first before I fight anything more, in case I die. So I think what we'll do is this. If I end up reaching 16 strength before we get a brass shield, and I'll farm that off screen. And we'll just do this shorter some other time through the week. But if we do get the brass shield, then we'll be able to continue with what I had planned for this first Elden Ring stream. And I think as a consolation, if we don't get the brass shield in time, we will check out those other way markers that I have. There's like a bunch of extra things we can do. Like there's stuff approximately in like this location, around here, and up through here. There's some cool stuff. But I feel like the river journey makes more sense to do in kind of its own segment on a different stream. Oh boy. Yeah, one downside about that overhead slash is it is very narrow. I don't know if there's a specific rule to item drops, like only enemies with brass shields can drop the brass shield or anything like that. So I'm just fighting everyone.
Does this game have an item like Dark Souls where you have lucky coins where you can just pop them and increase your ability to drop items?
Probably.
It's probably too early to get those, though.
Yeah, very likely. Okay, good to know. I can kill those guys with a jumping R2. Oh, hello, sir. after killing this guy, I'm gonna check. There we go. So probably one more run of the camp should do it. Not gonna bother fighting the wolves. I do not think the wolves are capable of dropping shields. It would honestly be rather intimidating if they were.
Honestly, if a wolf could pull out a shield and kick your ass, it'd be pretty upsetting.
Yeah. I think that's actually a clever concept for an enemy, like a wolf that just like jumps into the battle holding a shield in his mouth and it blocks hits for the soldiers around it.
Second to last Pokemon game had a wolf with shields. And a wolf with a sword.
I feel like that doesn't quite count.
Counts a little bit.
Only a little. Okay, brass shield. Okay, it's only dropped by the ones that are carrying it.
You'd have a giant wolf enemy that shield bashes you like Sif.
Okay, so with that in mind, there are apparently 4 enemies with the brass shield in this area. So we are just going to pursue those fellows. Which means we are going to have to routinely banish this man to horny jail.
Do it. Force him to stay there forever.
Unfortunately, the drop rate, all right. The drop rate for these shields is quite low. It's like 0.8%. But knowing that, this should speed things up quite a bit. Actually, I spent a lot of time farming for this the last time I booted up the game. And now I'm actually feeling rather silly for not double checking that. Because it makes sense, but in most cases, enemies don't actually need to be wielding something to drop it. But at the same time, humanoid proportion enemies in Souls games, I don't know how frequently they follow that rule. It's entirely possible that's always been the case for the franchise. Okay. So, I think we have reached the strength threshold that we need. Yeah. So that is where I'm going to stop the farming, because personally I just sit here and keep farming, but I'm streaming and that seems like a silly thing to do. So,
a little bit.
We are going to, not that I haven't already done that for a full hour on stream trying to perform Gust of Wind Dance with Lavitz once. But unless we want to do an impromptu podcast right now, I would rather wrap this up so that we can maybe do a bit of Sea of Thieves, because I don't want to bring up something like that and be like, psych, I decided to grind this for hours instead.
If you want to grind, I'm not going to hold it against you. All it does is allow me to make more art.
I mean, then let's put it this way. Let me know when you have finished working on your most recent creation.
It was done.
Okay.
It's already been finished.
Oh. There's one of those Ash of War buddies. Hey, get back here. No. Wild strikes. So yeah, they totally don't even explain that those are going to be a recurring thing. So there is a ballista just down the way. Oh, hello. You've got a brass shield. Nope. You want to be outside of the range of that ballista. Peace. That said, it's entirely possible we may end up dedicating an entire stream to fighting this boss here.
That's fine. I will be back though. I've got to go to the bathroom.
Sure. But there's still other stuff that we can spend our... So, welcome on in, dude. How's it going? What were you streaming tonight?
Again, we were separated.
I'm gonna fucking die.
Probably.
It looks like some Apex, if I'm not mistaken.
He's trying to punch you, I think.
Yeah, he's trying to punch me.
Yeah.
Get away from me, you freak!
It's kind of funny.
Nice. For the art, were you working on your next model revisions? Because I know you've been talking about that on Twitter. Oop, actually, no. I don't want to go back out that way. Nice. How's that going? Making good progress? Also, I saw your tweet about the Discord situation. Have you heard anything back about that? So just to knock some tasks off our list here, we are going to go take a look at this waypoint over here. I can understand that vibe. I wouldn't say that about myself.
You there. Could you Cully.
I would say I do a lot of work under extreme crunches. I wouldn't call it my best work. Bird's eye telescopes. You can use these found in various areas to get a bird's eye view of the terrain in the direction that the telescope is facing. These are honestly seldom used, but they're a fun feature.
Why won't anyone look me in the eye? I'm not that ugly, am I? What'd you go and do that for? Oh, yes. I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell.
I bet it was Mr. Beast. Hashtag Team Trees.
The name's Bok. I was pushed
The
out
dark
of
truth.
cave.
The
Told
trees
not
are
to come
people.
back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really.
He doesn't ban his commenters. He just buries them.
Oh, what a shame. When they threw me out of the
Destined to
cave,
create oxygen for the
it's
rest of their
everything I
days.
owned.
For our
So this is
entertainment.
all I have to express my thanks.
And survival, I guess.
Hope you can forgive me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wait, if you can afford to wait for a while, I could sneak back into the cave and bring back something of actual value. Then I'd be of some real use to you, I reckon.
Yeah, by all means, send me your contact info. It'd be nice to have that for reference. Yeah, thankfully I did not get fooled by the messages that I received. I was like, man, Cell's grammar really went to shit. It's a little suspect. I scrolled up in our chat history and was like, yeah, no, that ain't Cell. Thank you. There. About your friend request.
Don't know how true this is, but I specifically heard that those scammers do bad grammar to weed out the smarter people.
That'd be interesting if so. I don't know how much I buy that. Sal, just quickly before you go, should I kick your old Discord account from my Discord server then? Because apparently it's still in there despite being disabled. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night, man. Good luck with whatever you have to be awake for. Ah, it's not an instantaneous thing. Gotcha, gotcha. Better be safe than sorry. Yeah, I will. Probably about to end stream myself. I'm gonna do some offline grinding for the brass shield, but Elden Ring is a good time. I've been meaning to get started on stream. All right, back to business. So we got Bok the Seamster,
I'll need a moment.
as opposed to a
I'm
seamstress.
frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees start knocking, just thinking about that god-awful cave on the shore.
Huh.
Right, but I'll need a moment. I'm frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees stop.
Alright. So, Bach the demi-human is going to do his thing. I suppose we'll go over here. Well, I'm going to be honest, I kind of want to do a few more reps for that shield. We'll try and start some conversation when we get there. What button was it? Yeah. There we go. So if I'm not mistaken, the cave that Bach is talking about is going to allow us to go over there. If we happen to come across it, we'll grab the waypoint, but we'll come back to it later. There is something we can do over here. You can see these footprints being traced in the sand by something invisible. And it's one of those guys. That'll happen in a few places. There's even one that is just completely stationary, and you can only recognize it by it kicking up like a bit of a dust cloud. I like practically could not see it. I just found out about, like, I was looking for a oh, hold on, it's meme time. Could this be a dog? Dog. Praise the monarch, and then offer flower. So for whatever reason, people like calling turtles dogs in this game. I don't think there's actually a text option for turtles. I think that might be why.
That was the next best option, I guess.
I do not like the phrase land squirt.
Done? Well.
Those are basically like giant geoducks that you can find on the beaches in a lot of places. So I think the entrance to the cave is... No. I don't think we want to mess with those guys. Woo! I'll be honest, not remembering where that cave entrance is. If it's not down here... Well, we can attempt to show off. How's our... Okay, we barely have any runes right now. I was about to say we can attempt to show off how to land on one of those spirit spring things. I'm also going to look up impossible item in the tutorial. Oh, so that's a place like over to the...
And I'm here. Hi.
Welcome back.
Anything interesting happen?
I can't remember. Compared to
Your
when
raid?
you... Yeah, we did get raided by Sal, and we talked about some Discord woes.
Some Discord, if you will.
Yeah, I believe I mentioned, because we were about to go live, that I received some strange messages from his account.
From whose account?
From Sal.
Mm.
Uh-oh! 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 That... I'm not sure if that was supposed to happen. I mean, I know you jump high, but I feel like that
was a bit much.
Yeah. Or at least from that angle, it did not look correct in the least. So I believe
It's a very talented horse.
I mean, it's jumping on magic jumping spots. I thought the cave was around here. Might be... Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's right where the gobos are. This is where Bach went. Oh no, Bach!
It hurts. Oh. What are you doing here? You must leave this place at once. They'll rush in and beat you to a pulp. You'll end up just like me.
I do really appreciate locations with like oppressive darkness, as long as you have like a torch or a lantern.
For me, it depends on the time of day, because like some games, like they have like areas of oppressive darkness, and it's like during the bright fucking daylight that sunlight comes in, and it's like doesn't matter how strong the blacklight is on the device, you're just gonna be like kind of struggling to see anything.
Yeah.
Unless you draw the curtains to a full close, but I want some sunlight once in a while.
Okay.
Not often. Once in a while.
What marker did I usually use for these? What? Oh, hi. Sure, you can die.
A little rude, but okay.
I think I typically use that marker. Even though Bach's location is there, I just wanted to note it for myself to basically be like, yeah, still need to go check out that location. But I would like to tie up that loose end of that mysterious item in the tutorial. This might also kick off some stuff here. I think we're good, but there are some shenanigans afoot in that bog ahead. Ooh. But we're gonna leave this section for another stream. thing I did want to mention is that sometimes people talk about like, oh, I'm hearing strange like chanting and screaming and moaning, you know, around this area, and there are a bunch of like crucified bodies. Like, what's going on there? It's actually like some cult dudes in the middle of the marsh that, and their audio balancing is a little wonky, so you can hear them from really far away sometimes.
You must be
Maybe it's intentional.
You do well to steer clear of a gill lake, fledgling.
Maybe they're like ventriloquists and they're throwing their voices.
Fearsome, as it is majestic. So, unless you're mad or wish to be burned alive, stay clear of the lake. Don't be a fool. Turn back before it's too late.
Okay, so this might take a couple tries to find what we're looking for, but in the vicinity of this grace. Oops. See, that feels about the same height as the previous time we, you know, went from a high place. Jumping off, don't you dare.
Sometimes you just, you know, you get fucked.
Hello, sir. I know how this is gonna end. So somewhere around here is a cave that we can enter. Just trying to find which one of these is actually Seek Cave. Okay. So that's handy. But there are no Spirit Spring jumps there. So I believe if we go over yonder, we will find some.
One should hope.
Yeah, there's one. These can be a little finicky. Oh, that's nice. I never noticed that on PS4, but you get a nice little particle effect around you when you're above the Spirit Spring. So these dudes are kind of cool. Uh-oh. Ooh, nice. We're toast. So anything that glows purple like that is gravity magic. And while I don't use a lot of magic, like I usually do invest in quite a bit, because there's a like really good katana that has some cool attributes that I enjoy. The community mostly hates just because everyone gravitates toward it because it's a cool samurai sword that shoots magic blades, you know? But and that requires int to use effectively, as well as some of the like frost affinity on your weapon as well. Typically skills with int, I believe. While gravity magic isn't something I would use often, I think it's some of the coolest magic in the game. Ooh, big stutter there. We're fine though. I mashed. Oh, hold on. So we now have Gravitas, which is you stab your sword in the ground and summon a little gravity well on the spot that brings enemies toward you. So I don't think I was actually mashing there, but a lot of my inputs were being repeated. Might have been related to the big stutter that just happened.
Actually.
Now, we have a Healing Drake Talisman, which boosts holy damage negation. So if we ever need to fight anything that's using the power of God and anime against us, we've got something that'll give us a bit of defense. So we have now successfully dealt with that. Again, we're going to leave the cultists and their apparent dragon to their own business. There's a thing here that we can check out later, and then there's a whole bunch of shenanigans up the riverway. But I feel like this whole little river area should be left to its own stream. I feel like I'd like people to be present for, like, watching me struggle against the boss. I feel like people would be entertained by that. So I feel like we've kind of tied up all our current loose ends. I'll farm for the brass shield on my own time. And then probably the next time we play Elden Ring, we will kick off with the boss gauntlet and see how long it takes. And I think...
Wait, weren't you... Well, you're back. Care to buy something?
we've got just enough for a telescope from Kale. And I think that's the only other thing I really want to buy from him.
Goodbye. Nice to do business.
And we'll put that on our hotbar. The telescope just lets us look at things. I forget if there's a means of zooming in with it. Oh yeah, up and down on the D-pad.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you can scope those maidens from afar.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I don't recall, does this game allow you to aim spells properly, or do you still have to use the scope?
What do you mean? Like, are you asking me if spells have a reticle?
Yeah.
No.
Dark Souls allows you to use the scope to aim like your the lightning bolt.
You equip the telescope and then you cast magic?
Yeah.
That's probably still a thing. Yeah, I don't use enough magic to be someone who can tell you whether or not that is something that's actually improved. So I'm gonna do this. I am going to actually, you know what? Never mind what I was about to say. Now let us exit. So 2 hours 16 minutes compared to our other save. How much time was on that other one? Because I felt like I spent a lot of time fighting that boss on my own. Huh. Apparently not. I just didn't do a lot of the extra adventure stuff like talking to Bach and going to the southern area. So I guess I didn't spend that much time fighting him. Huh. Or I just got very lucky with the brass shield, which I don't remember being the case. All right. So, once again, a reminder for anyone still lurking. Etrian Odyssey next weekend. Tomorrow, very likely. Oh, that's not even showing up. The game source is still there because Streamlabs is still in its crashed state. Well.
It's nice that it still functioned, even if it was fucking scuffed as hell.
Yes, it is nice that it has that that backup. Ooh, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, hey, Etrian Odyssey showed up. So yeah, June 3rd. Even though it comes out on June 1st and May 31st, I'm going to wait with bated breath until the weekend and probably do a long ass stream of that. No promises. I'm not gonna. That seems like a bad idea. But I would not be surprised if it ends up somewhere between 8 and 12 hours of pure Etrian Odyssey goodness. Tomorrow we're gonna probably kick things off with Wall Arms 3, do the prologue because it's so fucking badass, and then we will try and do the cleanup I mentioned on Discord with respect to The Legend of Dragoon. We missed an NPC that back in Bale. Need to go back to Fletz to talk to them. Then we need to move far enough in the story that we can gain access to the castle in Fletz, where there is some Stardust we weren't able to grab last stream. To finish things off, you know what? We can't roll credits, so I'm just going to give a quick thank you to Maud, Ice, Anna for the variety of subs, Ice Specs, Misa, and Self for rating, and Cthulhos and Kirsten for keeping me company. We are going to rate out to Right Sight. He's rated me a few times during The Legend of Dragoon. Very much a JRPG fan of a feather. Currently starting a playthrough, second session, I believe, of the Dot Hack quadrilogy for the PS4. Good games, very interesting, amazing character backstories, weird physical attack versus magic system where it's an action RPG, but you have to spend most of your time diving through menus telling your party members to use skills because they don't do so automatically, and skills do infinitely more damage. So if anyone gets confused by the fact that he is just constantly diving into menus, even though it's an action game with an attack button on the face buttons, it's just weird on purpose.
So it's a lot like that game that I was playing, where it's like 70% of it's just menu.
Yeah. It's basically like if Final Fantasy 12 didn't have the AI system. It's wild. Anyway,
my cat just ran into a door frame, stopped for a second, stared at the door frame, hissed, and then left the room.
Door frame's haunted. What can I say? Well, let's show Right Sight some love, and everyone have a good night. See y'all tomorrow, and also next Saturday for the big show.
Good night, everyone.
Peace out. Rated